Welkom by die derde week van inperking. President het sopas aangekondig, ons gaan vir nog 2 ekstra weke by die huis sit, so ons gaan tot die 1 Mei gaan ons by die huis sit. Verander so 'n bietjie ons aanslag, ons het nou klaar deur al die skoolspelers gegaan wat ons in die hande kan kry, al die video's gekyk, ons het seker 50 video's van ouers af gekyk. Mamma, pappa, as jy vir my video stuur waar jy 3 klips van jou kind wys waar hy oor 20 ouetjies hardloop, beteken niks nie, ek moet die hele game sien. Ek wil sien wat doen hy as hy nie die bal dra nie, ek wil sien waar werk hy en waar staan hy stil. Maar soos ek gesê het, ons verander so 'n bietjie ons aanslag. Ons gaan vandag gaan ons praat oor kapteinskap, wat is die ontwikkeling van kapteinskap, hoe ontwikkel jy 'n kaptein, en dan praat ons met 2 oud SA skole kapteine, wat hulle vir ons hulle indrukke gee van kapteinskap. In my dae was dit eenvoudig geweest. Ons bende het voor die tyd besluit, voordat die meneer vir ons gevra het om te stem om kaptein, wie ons kaptein wil hê, het ons al die ander kinders gedreig en ons het hulle 'n bietjie afgeknou en ons kaptein is aangewys wie ons wou gehad het. Vandag werk dit nie meer so nie. Soos ek gesê het, ons gesels met Colin Gordon, een van 'n baie goeie skole kaptein gewees. Hy staan klaar uit, hy's Wit se eerste span kaptein in die Varsity Cup. Pragtige seun, ander seun is Adrian Alberts, wat as ek van Adrian dink, dan onthou ek daai wedstryd in die Kruiwenweek final tussen die WP en die Sharks. Hy het daai game gedirigeer soos 'n dirigent. As ek dink aan kapteinskap op skolevlak, dan dink ek aan daai wedstryd van Adrian. Daarna gesels ons met Loffie. Loffie het sy pad gestap, hy het die leeu's afgerig, hy het oorsee afgerig, wêreldwyd afgerig. André Trudeau was eers by die Vrystaat gewees, toe sy pa Boys High toe, nou sit hy in Rusland, trap sy spore waar hy gaan. En dan laastens gesels ons met die guru van skole rugby. Shaun Erasmus is nou by die Leeu's voltyds betrokke as 'n afrigter. Die manier wat hy sy kaptein kies ek het nie gedink is moontlik om so iets te doen nie, maar as jy gaan kyk na die kapteine wat hy opgelewer het, is dit baie duidelik dat hy sukses behaal. So ons eerste episode is dan oor kapteinskap, Woensdag gaan dit oor nuus. Ek wil klaar my backrek oor Fransie in die Vrystaat, dan sal dit los vir Woensdag, en dan Vrydag kyk ons na, wat is die invloed van 'n ouer op 'n kind? Hoe groot invloed het hy, daai tipe van dinge. So jy is meer as welkom om jou mening vir my te stuur. Ons e-poste is beskikbaar, dit is op die website, welkom om vir my te stuur. Maar nou gaan ons bietjie oor na my vernoot daar in Randburg. Hy het stokke en hy het maniere en al sulke goeders wat hy gaan regmaak en julle interesseer. Maar kyk vir my die video heeltemal deur. Ou kan nie net hier stop of daar stop nie. Die hele gesprek, soos ek sê, ons gesels met die oud seuns en daai tipe van dinge, en dit volg. En dit wat Shaun op die einde sê, dink ek is ongelooflik treffend as jy sien wat Bart hulle alles voor die tyd gedoen het. So lekker kyk, en dan skakel ons oor na Bart toe.
Hi, our topic for today is all about captaincy in sport, and obviously we are specifically going to refer to rugby. We will also have a couple of guest speakers giving their opinions, and also some players referring to their experience as captains in the sport. Looking at captaincy in sport, and specifically rugby, there's a 3-perspective way of looking at it. Firstly, we will look at the captains themselves, their team leaders, the teammates, coaches and parents as a group together. In the second instance, we will focus on the captains themselves. And lastly, in the third segment, we will look at parents and coaches, backroom role players, and what role they play with regards to captains and how they act and react on the pitch. Some general comments in terms of captaincy. Captains are always at the top end of sport, and they are surrounded by strong people and players in the sport, and surrounded by strong leaders as well. That is normally a ploy used by coaches to make sure that the captains don't have to carry the burden by themselves, and we'll refer to some captaincy strategies later on. One thing that we need to understand, and everyone being a leader out there, is that a captain must be sure of his place in the team. He cannot be captain and second or third best player. Without contradicting myself, obviously, there are exceptions. We have seen it in sport, we've seen it at international level, where captains have played a very demanding and serious role, even in the results of the best. And without them often being classified as the best player in his position. Model-wise, we would say that is not the ideal, although we know that reality proves us wrong often. One question that we need to ask is, what happens if the team leadership are not that strong? The supporting and surrounding players around a captain. Is it only the captain that carry the burden in this case? That is something that we will always have to consider. If I can use an example, and very recent world famous coach, Eddie Jones, that has coached all over the world and even had a hand in one of South Africa's World Cups that we won. He still sees himself in an old school leadership fashion. Eddie Jones just loves a strong-minded leader on the field that takes control and, if needed, even affect discipline onto players. He likes his players to be very decisive off the pitch as well as on the pitch. And therefore, it really puts a serious responsibility on us as coaches and parents to guide and help our kids becoming leaders, becoming captains, so that they grow in that direction with the necessary responsibility shouldered. Modern captains in sport are mostly seen as having one job. If I say that, if you look at some of our international teams that's been at the World Cup now recently, at the Rugby World Cup in Japan, some of those backroom staff tally up to 20 and even more in some cases, which takes away a lot of the responsibilities of the captain in the olden days. It is imperative though that the senior captain is still everyone's captain. And if I say that, it means that the senior captain of the club, of your institution, of your union, must be seen as everyone's captain. It is therefore not weird or funny to see a captain taking out the academy or the junior players of the union and having a braai with them and socializing with those boys. And that, as a matter of fact, is something that is very important for the senior captain to understand, that he does not only lead his senior team, he leads the whole of the union or the club. Captaincy will differ at different levels, that is so. There's no difference in principles though, that's a guarantee. But it might be an execution of the role, of the role of one job of being the senior leader. There's no difference in terms of the principles that we see of captaincy and leadership across the board. But at different levels, schoolboy level and at international level, that might be different. So before we go on, I would like to get some comments from Coach Loffie Eloff, World Cup winning, junior World Cup winning coach and Super Rugby coach with vast experience, travelled to America and coached in the USA as well, just to get some of his opinions on captaincy.
Hi daar. As ons kyk na die kies van 'n kaptein en karaktereienskappe waar ons so kandidaat moet voldoen, sal ek graag begin om te sê dat ek dink dit is een van die belangrikste faktore vir 'n afrigter om in sy span, in sy groep, die regte kaptein te kies. Ek dink nie daar's verby laat die gewilde ouetjie die kaptein word of die ouetjie ingestem word deur sy spanmaats wat waarskynlik die ou kan manipuleer. En vir die afrigters daar buite om 'n kaptein aan te stel of dit op laerskole vlak is, hoërskole, internasionale super rugby vlak, daar's nie 'n verskil nie. En as ek vat die karaktereienskappe wat ek altyd van gehou het in hierdie leiers het die eerste een uitgestaan, hy moet leierseienskappe hê. En saam met dit gaan ook bestuursvaardighede om met mense te kan werk. Tweedens, die belangrikste vir my, die grondslag van alles, integriteit en eerlikheid. Jy moet hom kan vertrou en hy moet jou kan vertrou. En dan kommunikasie, sy kommunikasievaardighede, verbaal, nie verbaal. Sy kennis van die spel, sy passie vir die spel, en is dit baie keer 'n voordeel as 'n kaptein bietjie 'n strategiese mindset het, en strategies kan dink en dit dan takties op die veld toepas. Hy moet 'n rolmodel wees en 'n voorbeeld vir die span. En as 'n kaptein en 'n natuurlike leier instap by die spankamer of die deur of by die span, moet hy 'n presence hê, en daar's nie 'n Afrikaans woord waarmee ek dit kan vervang nie. Ek wil graag afsluit om te sê die belangrikste verhouding in 'n rugbyspan is die verhouding en die vertroue wat daar is tussen 'n kaptein en die afrigter. En dis dit.
Thank you very much, Lofi, for those inputs. Very valuable, coming from someone like you, and for all of us to learn from. The next section I want to go to is where we're looking at the attributes of a good captain. You would find a lot of research, a lot about this in the media, about what characteristics a captain needs to have. I don't think that's a difficult thing. I think that is something that is quite general and across the board of sport. Probably very much the same. If we look at 10 key characteristics, we would like our captain to really be the team leader. That goes without saying. He needs to be an organizer. We want him to take charge. We want him to be able to organize where the team management does not always have to kick in. He's got to have that presence in the team. He's got to enforce positive thinking throughout the team and the team setup. The captain must recognize his teammates' skills and therefore also be able to utilize his teammates' skills. He's got to ensure unselfish team play, and with that it goes for him as well as your star players in the team. You often find players that's got the execution abilities, the so-called star or X-factor players. He has got to have that ability to make sure that everyone pulls in the same direction and serves the team. The captain needs to step up when we really need him, often in difficult times even more so, and he has got to create a harmonious working relationship amongst all of the players, staff and management before and after matches as well. And obviously he's got to know his teammates personally very well, even though you won't be spending a lot of time necessarily with every one of them during the year socializing. He's got to know what makes players tick and what make them perform better. So the question from anyone in a leadership position or being a captain should be, so how do I do all of this? It's quite a mouthful. We had someone like Larry Lauer and Kevin Blue from Michigan State University sitting down and putting together a wonderful model that we call Striving for the 3 C's of Captaincy. So before we get to the 3 C's, in general, they classify captaincy in the following way. Captaincy puts you in a position of respect and trust. That is a given. It's an honor with huge responsibility and accountability. And the captain must maintain full control in all circumstances, good and bad. So the first of our 3 C's is caring. This is where the captain should show his passion for the game and his teammates. Success of the team always comes first. The well-being of all team members must be at the top of his mind, and everyone needs to be treated with the necessary respect. Find solutions for problems without delving too deep and trying to unravel problems. It is important that we all look together, and he should be at the front of trying to solve problems instead of harping on them. And your captain should always be the first person stopping rumors and gossiping the moment they get going, especially as it's got a severe effect on your team culture. Next up, we would like to have the comments and opinions from ex-SA Schools captain Adrian Alberts, captained the SA Schools in 2018, and like to hear what he says and what he thinks about what a captain should be like, and what characteristics he would expect from a captain.
Hi there, I'm Adrian Alberts, and today I'll be speaking about leadership and more specifically being a captain in your team. So being captain, you should understand that rugby is a team sport, and this being said, different people come into teams with different belief systems and different ways of doing, and you should have a understanding and accepting relationship because of this, and you should respect them for who they are. This also being said, you should be able to work with these different personalities and different people in order to achieve your common goal. Your relationship with your coaches should be open and honest. You should never have fear or be scared of lifting your own opinion, as this is very important in team building. As long as it's done in a respectful manner and for the better of the team, it's okay. Then I also believe there should be good communication with the different roles in teams. So an example could be between players and coaches and vice versa. This should be very fluent, and it's very important to just communicate and talk to one another. Personally, I also believe in a team there's not just one leader or one guy running the show. Being a captain is just your role in the team.
Thank you very much, Adrian, for that input. Very valuable, and taken note of by everyone watching, I presume. In our next segment of the 3 C's, we're looking at the element of being courageous. That surely means that a captain needs to be willing to step up to any task that is thrown his way, and any issue. He's got to walk the talk. It's not only about talking and saying things and trying to talk things right, but really act and be the guy that walks in front. You should set the example that's going to be expected from our captain. His actions must embody the core team values that has been set by the team and the union and or the club. And he must be a model of courage and dedication at all times. He must show trust in his teammates and coaches. Very important. Plays a huge role to keep that group together. And he must hold his teammates accountable. The last of our 3 C's is consistency. Being consistent. You've got to hold yourself to a standard of 100% effort at all times, whether it's in practices or whether it's on the pitch during a game. Must be accountable to be able to hold your teammates accountable. That's very important. Captain, and I'll repeat that, captain must be accountable to hold his teammates accountable. He must also have his own authentic style of captaining. It's very important that the captain should not be someone imitating necessarily. There's nothing wrong with following good examples, but often you find 2 kinds of captains. Firstly, the captain that really leads by example and taking action, and secondly, the captain that is more eloquent and more vocal and really can get into the heads of his players in that way. In international sports and rugby, there's definitely a place for both of them. Like I said, he's got to be himself. Be yourself as a leader and as a captain. Don't imitate, and make sure that your own character shows in what you are doing, leading from the front. At this point, I would like Travis Gordon, another ex-SA Schools captain, professional player currently, and also a captain at university level, to give a couple of his comments and thoughts regarding captaincy throughout his career that he has experienced.
As a captain, I break the game down into three aspects, which would be player management, game management, and referee management. When it comes to player management, I'd say at a senior level it's definitely a lot easier. Guys are a lot more professional, they can control their tempers, and they know their detail a hell of a lot better. Whereas at schoolboy level, I'm sure all of us can agree there are a couple guys on your side which you have absolutely no idea what they're going to do. I don't even think they know what they're going to do next. And as a captain, you've got to kind of know them as best as you can and try to stop them from doing something that will be detrimental to the side. I'd say at schoolboy level, managing the game is a lot harder than what it would be at any higher levels. This is, even though there are some extremely good and very professional coaches at schoolboy level who manage the game extremely closely, majority of the time the captain is making the calls of when to go to the line, when to kick for poles, and how to manage the game. At a senior level, there's an attack coach, a defense coach, forwards, back coach, and they're constantly conveying messages with the team and the captain via the medical staff. So there's a lot more communication and advice given from the coaches to the captain at a higher level. Obviously, as a captain in both levels, you have to know the laws of the game backwards. You have to know what plays your team has and what plays you want to play in which parts of the field. When it comes to managing the referees, I'd say it's a lot easier at a senior level, as you get reffed by the same group of referees. So in a season, you can get reffed 3 to 4 times by the same referee. This allows you as a captain and as a team to understand how the ref manages the game and the breakdown, and you can prepare for that. At schoolboy level, every week there's a new ref, and it takes you as the captain maybe 10 to 15 minutes of the actual game to understand how the ref's reffing it and how the ref takes your chat towards him. So at schoolboy level, it's definitely a lot harder, as every week you build in a new relationship with the referee. I've been very privileged to be at the Lions and have had the opportunity to work with Warren Whiteley, who in my opinion is one of the best modern day captains the game has seen. I'm a very conservative captain and will usually always go for the 3 points when they're on offer. Whereas having chatted some scenarios with Warren, like with 3 points up with 3 minutes to go in the game, do you go for the corner or do you kick for poles? This all depends on your team's ability to receive the kickoff, to withstand the pressure, or to go eat up the time in the corner. So it's been a real privilege to be able to get into the mind of someone who has captained at the highest of levels.
Thank you very much, Travis. Those comments and inputs invaluable to all of us, and I'm sure also the players and parents watching from the outside. So that brings us to the point where we then can actually say there's a fourth C that we can add to the C's of captaincy that we want to reach. And if we talk about the fourth C, by accomplishing the 3 C's of captaincy, a captain or leader will earn this so-called C, fourth C. And that refers to credibility. And as a matter of fact, that's not only about striving or about a number in a model. This is essential for any captain to really get and take his team to a point where they are successful, is by being 100% credible in his actions, what he says and what he does. The question should be, how can I develop those 3 C's that we've referred to? And the answer is emphatically yes, you can as a leader. Talk to previous and current captains. Can always learn from people that's been there and so-called worn the t-shirt. There's a lot of wonderful reading material and literature and research out there that players and sportsmen can get hold of to make sure that they do what the right thing is, instead of wondering if they are not sure. Talk to your coaches. Your coaches might want you to follow a different kind of way of leading, depending on the composition of your team. Different cultures, different kind of players, different skills and talents, and also from the community and society. There's a lot of things that can influence the focus point in your captaincy, and therefore it's important that you are also a prolonged tool from the side of your coaches when you go out onto the playing field. And then obviously captains need to be serious, in the sense not to be cool, and therefore I don't mean he's got to be a sour face every day, all day long. It's just a question of do your job. That comes first as a leader and as a captain, and don't try and be popular. That's not why you are the leader. Although there's always time to be part of the boys without losing your credibility. Next up, I would like to get the views of Coach Andre Kadu, a coach that has been involved in coaching across the world, literally from South Africa, throughout Japan, and currently in Moscow, and ask his opinion on how he puts together his captaincy team.
I'd like to thank Carl from ruggers.co.za for all the good content and exposure he's giving to the boys and also the schools and the coaches. He asked me to speak about captaincy and how do you select a captain. It's really important to get that done early in the season, and so that the boys can get to playing the game. I like to have 4 accountability groups: outside backs 13 to 15, inside backs 9 to 12, the loose forwards, and with them I group the hookers, and then the locks and the props will be grouped in the tight forwards. Those 4 accountability groups will each have pick a captain, a leader in that group, and then those 4 leaders will then be up for selection to be the captain of the team. It's really important that the 4 accountability leaders also understand their role and support the captain, so that the captain doesn't have to look at every aspect of the game, and he can then use those 3 other leaders to assist him in captaining the team. Good luck for the season. Hope you guys are safe. Look forward to getting the whistle in the hand again.
Thank you very much, Andre. That was really interesting, and maybe just at this point, like to refer everyone interested in captaincy and into the models of captaincy to go and have a read on this 7 strategies to select your team captain from Jeff Hansen. Very interesting reading material. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but very, very good read on how and all the possibilities and ways and means of selecting your captain. In the last section, I would like to talk specifically to our coaches and parents with regards to captains and leadership. And this is short and sweet. 2 golden rules, broadly speaking. Firstly, coaches, I would love to see coaches stop coaching the moment that they're leaving the training pitch. And as I say, that's broadly speaking. This is all about educating and empowering your captain once he takes the field with his team. Pass the responsibility to the captain, especially once you leave the change room. The captain has got to start making decisions, got to take responsibility for those decisions. There's always the reason that a captain might stand back and not take full responsibility for decisions if he's influenced from the sideline on a continuous basis. For our parents, 2 very important golden rules: to support your kids without carrying their responsibilities for them. They need to carry the responsibility. They need to feel the ups and downs of being a leader. We need to grow leaders so that they not necessarily only lead sports teams, but eventually also become a strong leader in our communities. Encourage continuous learning amongst our kids, amongst our young leaders, to always learn, never stop learning. And very important for us as parents, important not to try and live our dreams out for our kids, our dreams for our kids, and make sure that they live the dream that they've got between their ears and their hearts. Lastly, I'm going to ask Coach Shaun Erasmus, previous SA Schools coach, schoolboy coach, and currently Super Rugby coach, to give his opinion on the role that coaches and parents do play in forming our captains and leaders of sport.
Goeiemiddag almal, baie dankie vir die geleentheid om te praat oor 'n bietjie leierskap en kapteinskap binne 'n rugbyspan, en hoe belangrik dit is vir die ontwikkeling van leierskap en kapteinskap van die ouers se kant af en van die afrigter se kant af. So ek kan net deel uit my eie ervaring uit wat ons altyd in die verlede op gekonsentreer het, dat die hele bestuurspan moet saam fokus en saam werk om leierskap te ontwikkel binne die span. Dit kan nie net een persoon wees nie, dit kan nie net die kaptein wees nie, maar dit moet 'n groep spelers wees wat saamwerk tot die leierskap van die span. Ek het altyd gesê die kaptein is net die ou wat voor hardloop en die muntstuk doen, want hy kan dit net alleen doen. Maar saam die hele span se leierskap is baie belangrik vir die kaptein om suksesvol te wees. Wat ek altyd nog gekyk het is, byvoorbeeld is om te kyk na wanneer die kaptein aanwys of wanneer die leierskap aanwys, dat dit nie in die vorm is van 'n stemreg alleenlik nie, maar eerstens laat die kaptein of die persoon wat in 'n leierskapposisie vorentoe kom, laat hy homself vorentoe sit vir die span. So in ander woorde, hoe ons kapteinskap gekies het is dat 'n groep spelers sou opgestaan het voor die hele span en gesê het, ek wil graag hierdie verantwoordelikheid dra as 'n leier in die span. Ek sou graag kaptein van die span wil wees. En dan gemotiveer het hoekom die spelers vir hom moet stem en hoekom die spelers saam met hom moet wees. En in al my tyd en al my jare was dit nog altyd lekker geweest om te sien hoe hierdie leierskap uitkom van self as 'n persoon opstaan voor die hele span en sê, ek is bereid om 'n leier te wees. Ek wil graag 'n leier wees en julle moet my kies vir daai rede. Sodra al die spelers dan gestem het en ons as 'n afrigtingspan na die stemme gekyk het, ons nog nooit nodig gehad om in te tree en te sê ons moet die stem beïnvloed of byvoorbeeld bydra tot dit nie. Die spelers het altyd die regte keuse gemaak. Sodra daai kaptein dan gekies is, kondig die kaptein vir die eerste en die tweede span saam aan. Die eerste span kaptein het dan die verantwoordelikheid om al die ander mense wat deel was van die stemreg of wat opgestaan het en gevra het om deel te wees van die leierskap, om vir hulle rolle in te deel. So daai rolle kan opgebreek word in verskeie goeders. Dit kan wees hierdie ou help met die gees, hierdie ou help met die dissipline. Hang af van wat jy benodig is binne die span en wat se tipe van kultuur jy wil skep. Het daai leiersgroep hulle self dan geskep deur die kaptein wat vir elke speler gevra het om homself betrokke te kry. Daardeur kry jy nie 4 of 5 ouens wat miskien voel, yes, ek moes die kaptein gewees het of enigiets anders doen, want hulle is almal deel van daai leierskaprol. Daai leierskap was nooit 'n senior leierskapgroep nie, dit was net 'n leierskapspan gewees. En hulle het deur die ondersteuning van die res van die groep gefunksioneer. So wanneer daar 'n nuwe jong speler in die span is, dit altyd gemaklik gevoel, want uit daai leierskapgroep uit is daar miskien nog jong spelers wat dan hulle stemme kon gebruik het om by die kaptein uit te kom of by die leierskapgroep of by die afrigtingspan te kon sê hoe hulle gevoel het of bygedra het tot die span se dissipline of tot die span se leierskap. Op die veld en van die veld af het hulle baie keer met die leierskap gehelp en die kaptein versterk. Die laaste deel van leierskap wat seker die belangrikste deel van alles is dat die afrigter, die hoofafrigter, ek het altyd daarvan gehou om die ouers bymekaar te kry. Al die ouers van die eerste en die tweede span, om hulle bymekaar te kry en te sê, wat is die funksie, wat is die doel van die span hierdie jaar? Hoe is die leierskapgroep gekies, om vir hulle te sê presies hoe die span funksioneer. Want 'n sterk ouergroep lei tot 'n sterk rugbygroep, tot 'n sterk span, tot 'n sterk kapteinskap. Die ouergroep se verantwoordelikheid is om te help aan die agterkant, om altyd seker te maak dat hulle seuns ondersteun van die veld af. Nie as rugbyafrigters te ondersteun om te probeer afrig of enigiets anders te doen nie, maar net om daai leierskap en daai ondersteuning te gee. So elke keer na 'n wedstryd of voor 'n wedstryd het ons ouers gehelp met verskeie goeders om te help dat die span beter doen op die veld en van die veld af. 'n sterk ouergroep wat ek nog steeds van deel is 'n wonderlike groep, want daai ouers het nooit onder mekaar die seuns vergelyk of die leierskap of die span se performance, jammer vir die Engelse woord, maar hulle het nooit die performance veroordeel of enigiets gedoen nie. Hulle het net sterk agter die seuns gestaan. So altyd vir die ouers gesê, die belangrikste deel vir jou as die ouer is om net altyd vir jou seun te sê hoe lekker dit is om te kyk hoe speel hy rugby en hoe jy dit geniet op die kant van die veld vir hom te wees. Sodra daai ouerskapgroep daai tipe van ontwikkeling het en daai saamstaan het en die leierskap dan ontwikkel van die veld af en op die veld, kry mense 'n suksesvolle span wat baie goed doen. Die laaste en die belangrikste deel van die legkaart kom nou wanneer die kapteinskap en die leierskap saam met die afrigtingspan saamsmelt. Die belangrikste daar is om totaal en al altyd eerlik te wees met die seuns en met die leierskap. Hulle moet altyd weet in wat se stand die span is, waar die span staan en hoe die afrigter dink ten alle tye. Die rede daarvoor is dat spelers praat en spelers praat met mekaar en hulle wil altyd weet waar hulle staan en wat die gevoel is en waartoe die span beweeg. Daarom het ek altyd gevoel dat die belangrikste deel vir my was om met my kaptein te praat oor alles wat in die span gaan, alles. Van ons geloof, waarvoor ons staan, ons kultuur, tot van die veld af, ons dissipline op die veld, ons spelpatroon, hoe ons speel en wat ons wil bereik. En dan van die veld af ook met ons ouer groep en met die res van die spelers. En mees belangrikste die ontwikkeling van die jong spelers wat deel is van die span. Die kaptein en die leierskapgroep is 'n verlenging van die afrigtingspan en daarom is dit die belangrikste deel dat almal saam inkoop en almal sit saam en gesels oor wat die mikpunte is en wat die doelpunte is vir die span. Ek het nog altyd my kaptein hanteer en my leierskapgroep hanteer is een van die afrigtingspan. En hulle het altyd geweet waar hulle staan en waartoe die span beweeg. Dis die belangrikste. En om seker te maak dat daai leiding en daai kapteinspan, daai kapteinskap en die leiding tot op die veld gaan. So op 'n party van die sessies het ek toegelaat dat die kaptein praat en nie die afrigtingspan nie. Die kaptein moes lei op die veld, van die veld af, in die wedstryd en op die oefenveld. So 'n totale inkoppeling en 'n totale inkoop van almal was die belangrikste in dit.
Thank you very much, Sean, and also all our speakers that has participated in our program today. We really hope that you have a wonderful Easter time, or had a wonderful Easter time by the time that you watch our program. Please be safe in times like this. God bless.